Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcasts. We were fired up on the member stream yesterday. Thank you to everyone who could join us live or caught the replay. Questions, as always, were fantastic. Establish an AMP community grant program. I went looking through the votes and the volume. This is going to pass, guys. If you are staked and haven't voted, there is still time, but have to get that vote in by the 28th. After the 28th, you missed the window. But unless you are a major token holder, I wouldn't sweat it. This is going to sail through. There are billions of tokens voting yes. We're going to take it apart a little bit and give some pros and cons. I love to be devil's advocate. El Salvador rolls on. According to their president, more Salvadorians hold Chivo wallets than hold bank accounts. This is being spun a couple of different ways in the media, of course. Crypto media is showing it as a victory, and legacy media sees it as an indictment of the financial sector in El Salvador. Going to be getting into that. And the market is flat. There is just no real spark, no real news, no real anything that is leading to meaningful volume of trade, pushing the market higher or lower. It's just stagnant. There are still lots of diamonds in the roughage. Got to do your homework, though. We make our calls here on the podcast, but they are ex post facto. I don't tell you what I did until after I did it. I don't want people trading on my advice. It's your money, honey. I don't have so much ego that I think I know what is good for you. It's not a hedge against being wrong. I don't know. I'm not a real YouTuber, I guess. And this is what we're getting into today. Everyone, please stand by. All right, let's talk about the imminent AMP Community Grant Program. This is going to pass, and it's going to become reality. 1 billion AMP tokens are going to be placed into a grant wallet for distribution to grants. That's it. Now, there has been some excellent discussion on this, both positives and negatives, and I thought it would be fun to play both fanboy and devil's advocate. So let's start with fanboy. AMP needs visibility for such a large market cap. If you are not an investor in AMP, odds are good you don't know what the hell it actually does or how it actually works. Now, this is not a real issue for the crypto market as a whole. Most crypto investors have only the vaguest idea what their token of choice does, how it works, the tokenomics, how it will actually gain sustained value. They like the name. They like the celebrity endorsement. They heard from a guy about a thing, and it's really cool. This does not apply to all crypto investors, of course, and it certainly doesn't apply to the folks on this channel. But as new money comes pouring into the space, it comes with visions of the Lambo and only the vaguest idea of what blockchain is. This will not work with AMP, mainly because AMP is not a traditional cryptocurrency. It is a collateral token that exists on the blockchain. It must exist on the blockchain, and it must exist in its current state because of the nature of what it's collateralizing. It has to be borderless. It must be asset agnostic. It must be anything in and anything out. When it stops being any of those things, it stops working completely. The entire business model going forward is based on the assumption that AMP and Flexa work exactly as designed. There can be no pivot at this point. Remove any of the central pillars, and the entire structure just crumbles. This is the information that needs to be pushed out to the institutional investors, and the community grant program can help with exactly that. Get the pros, explain it to them, then let them explain it to the rest of the world. The idea is not so esoteric that people can't process it. It is just a different way of thinking that does not function well with today's model of fractional banking. Once the education is underway, the second portion of the community grant program can kick in, and that is assisting and incentivizing new entities to build on AMP. This, in my opinion, is the thing that kicks AMP from obscurity to mainstream quickly. AMP derives its value through usage. More people build on it, the more it's used, more organic and sustained value to the token. This is what we want. You know what? Sorry. This is what I want. Speculative bumps are great. I scalp the hell out of them. Sustained growth is what I truly want, though, and this is how it happens. Needless to say, I voted yes. But I promise to play devil's advocate a bit. Who's managing the fund? This 1 billion AMP tokens are being taken out of the Network Development Fund. This is the same fund that subsidized staking rewards when it runs empty. The staking rewards will come purely from usage, and AMP isn't getting used much. It's something to consider. I'm not sweating it personally, and I am, you know what, I'm ready for the negative comments, but it's worth mentioning. If you want your business to develop, you need to invest in it. That's what this is. It's an investment. I just hope there is visibility in the fund for the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I'm a big advocate of transparency. El Salvador soldiers on with their Bitcoin experiment. And I got to ask, guys, at what point do we stop calling it an experiment and call it the law of the land? Legacy media continues to have a field day about El Salvador and their uppity president who thinks he knows more than they do. What are his academic credentials? Huh? Where does he get off thinking he knows more than they do? Well, kitten, he is the president of El Salvador, and you are a hack journalist writing hit pieces. So his wherewithal is pretty much in your face. More Salvadorians now have Chivo wallet installed than utilize the national banking system. I see this as only a positive. For one, I'm not a fan of national banks. They have entirely too much control over our finances. For two, crypto is infinitely superior to fiat currency, and I can make 50 hours of video illustrating this point without a script. So the more Salvadorians that are utilizing crypto over fiat, I see that as only a positive, regardless of how the Wall Street Journal wants to spin it. This whole how dare they narrative, it needs to stop, man. Be specific or be gone. You are wasting everyone's time now. Considering the length of time that Bitcoin has been legal in El Salvador and the amount of wallet downloads that have occurred, I want to say it has exceeded expectations, regardless of how Yahoo Money wants to spin it. And finally, ladies and gentlemen of the podcast, the market is flat. It is, man. If you're like me, you check the prices. And it doesn't take a Sherlock Holmes of crypto to figure out that AMP volume is low, ridiculously low. Over the last 24 hours, Plant versus Undead has exceeded the trading volume of AMP again. And our very own Emery the Taxman did his intrinsic analysis of Plants versus Undead and has determined that it has a value to him, not to the market, but a value to him of 0. Yet it still outpaces AMP. Now, what do you do while you wait? Lots of opportunities. Lots and lots of opportunities. Cody was very good to me over the weekend. I hit my out point, so I bailed, and I bought AMP with the profits, but that is just one example of opportunity. I have long advocated for you to buy your AMP with other people's money, and that is how you do it. There are quite a few cryptos ripe for a charge, and it is not cheating on AMP to take advantage of them. I do tell folks what I did on the videos and what I am going to do on the Discord, but you do you, bro. When the market is not moving and you are hungry for gains, you got to seek them out. Do some reading, sniff around, play the rumor mill. Crypto's like a knitting circle sometimes. There's always chatter. Just pay attention to it. My current interests are Scale. I love buying it right now. BAT. That's my one-off, but I love buying it right now. Anchor. Love buying it right now. I'm sure this went long, and I do apologize. But I didn't do a video yesterday, and it turns out that nobody watches my older stuff. News moves fast, and what mattered yesterday doesn't matter today. So I had to sum up 2 days in one video. Sorry about that. The market, it's ready for a pump. Watch for it and be in early. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Live stream on Thursdays and member stream on Saturdays, both at 1900. Cheers.